Hello and welcome to this little video. It is aimed to give you some overview on biopsy review process. You will also learn some logistics around it. With this, you will have a decent understanding regarding how the samples are sent, what is called a biopsy review, why it is important, and last but not the least, how to move from one hospital to another or from one center to another for the review so that you feel yourself confident regarding the whole process. Of course, medical science is vast and no information is fully exhaustive. It is quite natural for you to have questions even after watching this video. If you have any questions, without hesitation, do ask me or whoever treating the patient. In our practice, on the day of surgery, the removed tissue parts are sent to a renowned and reliable laboratory for biopsy evaluation. Here, the pathologist and his or her team processes the tissue samples with various chemicals and dyes. This process takes quite a few days to complete. After the chemical process, pathologists make some paraffin or wax block out of most important areas of the chemically treated tissues. From these wax blocks, with the help of special instrument called Microtome, few thin slices of paraffin blocks are shaved away. These are so thin that light passes through it readily. Each of these films, like shavings from the paraffin block, is then placed on glass slides. These are again treated with advanced chemicals. Then only the pathologist can evaluate it under microscope. The whole process is known as biopsy. The result is called primary biopsy report. After receiving the primary biopsy report, the patient and sometimes the treating doctor may feel the necessity for another biopsy opinion, which is known as biopsy review. Sometimes certain people in the society wrongly believes that the biopsy review is done if the initial pathology report is unreliable and it was done by inexperienced doctors. However, please do not form such an opinion or judgment regarding the initial pathologist. As a matter of fact, in medical science, the role of a second opinion is always encouraged to give a patient best of the benefits of various medical opinions. If a cure has been achieved for a condition and disease, a second opinion probably does not matter. However, researches are going on in an unbelievable speed in medical science, and every day new information are coming through. So a second opinion should not hurt. Here is something very interesting. During the biopsy process or in the tissues, there is no one holding a flag to say, I am cancer and I am not a cancer. Microscope does not tell pathologist the variety of cancer is type A and that variety of cancer is type B. You will be surprised to note that some differences on the tissues can be challengingly subtle. Pathologists are one of the most respectable specialties in medical science. Still, in some cases, two pathologists may differ in terms of their opinion. In the international knowledgeable field of pathology, such difference of opinion is known as inter-observer variation. It is quite normal to have such phenomena, and it is found in every country, be it in USA, UK, or in India. Hence, for the best of the benefits of the patient, sometimes a second opinion from a different pathologist can be helpful. This is particularly helpful in very complex cases. After all, whatever we do is for the best of the benefit of a patient. Therefore, please refrain yourself from developing an idea that the first pathologist did not do a good job, and that is why a second pathologist is being called. This is not a justice to the pathologists as a whole. Sometimes the second pathologist can add various valuable information which complements the information we got from the first pathology report. During pathology reviews, special additional tests are sometimes done, which is known as ImmunoHistoChemistry or IHC. This is little costlier, but if needed, can be crucial for the patient. For the second opinion, that is biopsy review, the chemical treatment of the tissues are not needed anymore. So, biopsy report could come sooner. However, if IHC test needs to be done, then it may take a little longer. This is because the IHC process checks certain advanced chemicals and proteins within the tissues. This is often known as tissue fingerprinting, and this gives more information regarding next best treatment and patient's future course. For IHC, sometimes the tissues may need to be sent to a different city and sometimes out of India. Do remember, immunohistochemistry is not always mandatory. Now, here are some helpful logistic information regarding biopsy review process. The paraffin blocks and slides stay wherever the tissue was initially sent to from the first surgery. A person chosen by patient with patient's consent should visit that center. She needs to apply to get those blocks and slides. Sometimes the hospital or the unit had sent the blocks and slides to a tissue repository or tissue godown. It may take a day or two to retrieve these samples from warehouse. Please do note that these samples are patient's property. It is very unlikely that the pathology center will not give the blocks and slides to the patient, unless, of course, the slides and blocks are not available anymore. The pathology center may charge a nominal fee to retrieve the sample from the warehouse. Once you receive the slides and blocks from the initial pathology center, please carry them to the second pathology center where the review needs to be done. Please do ensure that the slides and blocks do not come in contact to excessive moisture, water, heat, or direct sunlight during transport. Each and every blocks and slides, those you got from the first center, must be deposited to the second lab in order to get the pathology review done correctly. Never keep the slides and blocks or part of it in your own possession. If certain parts of blocks and slides are retained, even by mistake, then second opinion may be having errors in judgment. Now, reach the second pathology center, deposit the slides and blocks along with the doctor's prescription. During this time, never forget to mention that if an IHC report needs to be done, then it should be done during the same process. Sometimes, because of the cost issue, the lab may be hesitant to run the IHC tests. However, we feel it is a good practice that you get approximate estimate and give them a free hand to do IHC test. If IHC test is finally required and it is not done, then you may need to visit lab back and forth and lose important time unnecessarily. At the second pathology center, it may take between 4 to 14 days for the second report to arrive. If certain rare IHC report needs to be done, it may take a little longer. Though time is crucial, but in England we have always been told that never give a pathologist a rush because it is on their clues the whole treatment depends. Many biopsy process depends on chemical process which takes its own time and cannot be accelerated. For the whole process, the patient does not need to travel to the pathology center in person. With her permission, any member of family can perform the whole process. Before we finish this, I must mention that in certain rare circumstances, we may need to send the pathology review specimens to England, sometimes to our friends in London or at Ireland. But such need is exceedingly rare. But again, if you need to send the specimen for those reviews, the logistics can be slightly different than I have described. But if we need to send the samples to abroad, in that situation, I personally will give you the information regarding the biopsy review process there. Anyway, let's conclude today. Hope this video could add value to your knowledge. Feel free to ask us for any more of these educative videos. We wish you all the best for your future treatment. Bye now.